this caught my attention even more, where they said that a U.S. administration could put restrictions on kit from the U.S. and that if countries are deemed, quote, not to be doing what you are told, you will suddenly find out missiles won't fire and planes won't fly. You have to be careful. That's a big accusation. It's also being stated by unnamed officials. And it's unnamed, not even government officials, but defense officials. So from, our military industrial complex, if you will, Boeing, Lockheed, Raytheon, that kind of thing. And I wanted to highlight this because, first off, you have to take this with a huge grain of salt because the people are not willing to go on the record. The second piece of it is it makes sense. I mean, if you just look at how the transatlantic relationship has played out just in the course of the last couple weeks here, it's kind of a no-brainer for Europe to shift away from the United States as kind of the core of their defense industry, right? So we've seen in a couple key statements, U.S. officials talk about how we're pivoting over to Asia, and NATO countries need to be responsible more for Europe themselves. And there was, if you recall, just about a week ago, there was talk that Musk was considering shutting down Starlink in Ukraine. It looks like right now that maybe that was a consideration. It doesn't appear to be happening. Musk came out and said that was entirely fake. But even at the beginning of the war, we did see some manipulation with those Starlink systems that caused Ukraine to not be able to conduct certain strikes at certain times in certain areas. If you're a European country trying to pivot to, being able to take care of yourself and maybe not as reliant on the United States, it makes complete sense that you wouldn't want to tether yourself even more to the U.S. defense sector. So again, whether the actual concern is that the United States would genuinely shut down missiles and say, you can't use this missile at this time or not allow an aircraft to fly, I'm not entirely sure how effective that would be. But you could see a scenario where, say we have a weapon system lined up to go to France and we get in, a diplomatic tiff with France. Maybe we move them down the list a little bit and say, hey, well, those systems are actually going to go to Taiwan first, and then we're going to send the next ones to Australia and the next ones to, and all of a sudden France isn't getting their system this year. They're getting it in 3 years. So not crazy that Europe is looking at all this saying, hey, maybe we should be more self-reliant.